What if the only thing standing between you and your breakthrough is the giant you've been too afraid to confront? Most people look at the story of David and Goliath as a children's tale, a cute moment where a brave boy beats a big bully. But the truth is far deeper. This story reveals how God turns ordinary people into warriors, how courage comes from faith and not strength, and how giants fall when even the smallest believer stands on God's promises. Let's dive into this powerful story, because it may be exactly what you need in this season of your life. Israel was at war with the Philistines. Every day, a giant named Goliath stepped forward to challenge anyone brave enough to fight him. Goliath was massive, over 9 feet tall, covered in bronze armor, carrying a spear that looked more like a tree trunk than a weapon. For 40 days he mocked Israel, humiliated them, and cursed the God they served. Not one soldier stepped forward, not even King Saul, who was known for his height and strength. Fear had silenced an entire nation. Now here is where the story shifts. David, a teenage shepherd boy, wasn't even part of the army. He was simply delivering food to his older brothers. Yet, right as he arrived, Goliath began shouting his insults again. Everyone around David turned away in fear, but David leaned in closer. While others saw a monster to avoid, David saw an opportunity for God to move. He asked, "Who is this Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" Notice something important. David wasn't intimidated because he wasn't comparing himself to Goliath. He was comparing Goliath to God. But not everyone appreciated David's confidence. His oldest brother Eliab snapped at him, accusing him of being prideful and irresponsible. Isn't it interesting how criticism often comes from the people closest to you? Yet David responded with a bold question. Is there not a cause? Isn't this battle worth fighting? Isn't God worth standing up for? His words reached King Saul, and David was brought before him. Saul looked at David and saw a boy, but David spoke with the strength of a man who had walked with God. He told Saul about the lion he killed, the bear he killed, and how the Lord delivered him every time. Then he said something that reveals where true courage comes from. The same God who saved me then will save me now. Saul finally agreed, but he tried to give David his royal armor. David put it on, but it didn't fit. It restricted him. So he took it off and chose what he knew: a sling, a staff, and 5 smooth stones. Here's a lesson. You don't win spiritual battles wearing someone else's armor. Your calling is unique, and your victory requires authenticity. David walked onto the battlefield with no armor and no sword, just unshakable faith. When Goliath saw him, he laughed. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" the giant mocked. But David didn't flinch. He declared, "You come to me with a sword and spear, but I come to you in the name of the Lord. Today, he will deliver you into my hands." That moment changed everything. It wasn't just a boy speaking to a giant. It was faith speaking to fear. It was destiny speaking to intimidation. It was God speaking through a willing servant. David didn't wait for the giant to move. He ran toward him. With one motion, he placed a stone in his sling and released it. The stone flew through the air, guided by God, and struck Goliath in the forehead. The giant fell, hitting the ground with a thunderous crash. Silence swept across the valley. A shepherd boy had defeated a champion warrior, not because he was strong, not because he was trained, but because he trusted in a God who never fails. Israel surged forward in victory, the Philistines fled, and David became a national hero overnight. But the real victory wasn't the fall of Goliath. It was the rise of David's faith. And now, let's talk about the lessons hidden inside this story, because they apply to every believer today. Lesson 1. Giants are meant to fall. Your giant may not be a warrior on a battlefield. It may be fear, anxiety, sickness, debt, addiction, insecurity, or self-doubt. David's story teaches us that giants only look undefeatable until someone stands up to them. Lesson 2. God prepares you in private before he uses you in public. David killed lions and bears when no one was watching. No applause, no audience. God often trains you in hidden seasons before he reveals you in open ones. Lesson 3. Faith is not about what you have, but who you have. David didn't rely on a sword or armor. He relied on the presence of God. Your strength doesn't come from your abilities. It comes from your relationship with him. Lesson 4. Don't let others define your calling. Eliab doubted David. Saul underestimated him. Goliath mocked him. But none of their opinions changed God's plan for David's life. And they shouldn't change yours either. Lesson 5. Victory requires movement. David didn't stand still. He ran toward the giant. Faith is not passive. It is active. Now let me ask you, what giant are you facing in your life right now? Drop it in the comments. Your honesty might inspire someone else to find courage in God. And if this story encouraged you today, consider doing 3 simple things that help this new channel grow. Like this video, it tells YouTube this message matters. Share it with someone who needs encouragement. Subscribe to AI Bible Hub Studios so you never miss a powerful Bible story. Here we bring scripture to life, uplifting your faith one story at a time. Giants fall, miracles happen, and God still uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. Welcome to the journey. And remember, with God, no giant is too big and no believer is too small.